Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, what is up? The king of lightning is here today, bringing you guys and gals One Piece. Whoa. One Piece Chapter 833 review. Now, before I get started, this is a review, obviously. So the live reaction is not out yet. And when I say that, I mean I am having my live reactions out second as opposed to the review. Because, first of all, I haven't done a One Piece review in a while. Folks are like, King, how many One Piece reviews have you missed? And I'm like, oh, shit ton. Not only that, but the live reactions do take quite a bit of time to edit and whatnot. So I figured we have this week be a trial week where I do the reviews first and then have the live reactions come out second. So yes, I did my live reaction already. All I gotta do is edit and whatnot. However, that does take time. There's no watch here, but imagine a watch. Takes time, nigga. Now, that being said, let's talk about One Piece Chapter 833. There's a lot of things I want to discuss here. Let's start with the basics. Now, the first thing here is going to be the pacing and the chapter structure. For the chapter structure, all we really have is like 4 parts, where you have like the Yonji part, then you have the fight, there's a flashback, then we return to the fight, then there's post-fight, so there's 5 parts. And overall, they were fairly evenly managed. In the middle of the fight, after the flashback, there's a small flashback of Sanji, and he's like in a cell, and he has a mask on his face, and it's like, dude, what the fuck? Judge is fucked up. But either way, you have those 5 parts of the chapter. That's the structure. And then for the overall pacing, I mean, essentially, we find out a few things about Sanji via flashback. Then it's the fight between Sanji and his dad, and after that, it's the aftermath of the fight and what happens there. So, essentially speaking, nothing too big there from a pacing/structure standpoint. Next, we have the characterization. Reiju, I was disappointed in seeing Reiju put those miniature cuffs on Sanji, the same cuffs that the Tenryubito use for their slaves. I was like, Reiju, really? I mean, granted, she has no real love for her brother, her third brother, which is kind of fucked up. And yeah, she's following daddy's orders, but it's still, I was like, really, Reiju? Like, she's been a cool female, and then seeing her do that, I was like, that's kind of heartbreaking. I'm like, there was something here, Reiju, between me and you and I. There was something here between me and you, and then you're gonna fuck up my boy Sanji like that, like put the cuffs on as he's talking to dad, like on some super slick shit. Reiju. So, I mean, ultimately there is just that she has an earnest loyalty to her family. And, of course, it is the fact that Sanji has to get married for their benefit. So she's gonna make sure that Sanji stays no matter what, and she's gonna follow her dad's orders to the utmost. That's Reiju. Then we have Yonji. Now, this is where shit gets weird, okay? Yonji, he got his ass murked by Sanji. And we see the wound, and we see how, like, the beats on his right side, and then his face a little bit is, like, kind of caved in. So, basically, Sanji did his thing. Things get a little bit weird, where this quack doctor has to use a machine press to fix Yonji. Like, that, it was weird. I'm like, why the fuck does this guy have to use a machine press to fix Yonji? What is going on there? I do have 2 takes on that. Number 1 is it may tie to his powers, possibly his double fruit, where he can be healed via such methods, where just press and then boom, he's okay. So that's my first guess, where it's a Duff-related thing. Number 2 is that there's something funky going on with Yonji's body. Now, keep in mind here that the tech that the German use is fairly advanced, and that's one of the core reasons why Big Mom wants the German in her fold. Ooh, that just sounded wrong. Oh, now I think about it, yeah. Big Mom has many folds. Ooh, yikes. Damn. Okay, no. Big Mom wants the German. She wants Germa 66 as allies under her wing. I should stop using fold from now on. When it comes to Big Mom, I need to stop doing that. Either way, the whole point here is that they have good tech. So there may be something abnormal with Yonji's body where like there's something there, or something to do with like the headsets where like like the headphones themselves, they can be utilized in such a way where once you do like a press thing, like they're fixed. Like this guy was using a hammer and he was like hitting the thing. So it could be the headphones themselves, or it could be something to do with Yonji's own body. And then it could be the press itself, where the press itself is unique in some way, shape, or form. I said 2, but there's actually 4 things, all right? There's 4. Again, number 1, it could be his devil fruit. Number 2, it's his body. Number 3, it's the headphones. Number 4, it's the press itself. Now, the next character is going to be Sanji for characterization. And Sanji, he, in this case, keeps on saying that no matter what, he won't consider his father his actual father. We get to see reasons why in flashback, where daddy wasn't exactly nice to his son at all. I mean, you had Ichiji, Niji, Yonji, they kind of fucked up Sanji, and then he's screaming, "Dad, help," and he's like, why should I? It's called Darwinism, bitch. You fight or you die. Fight. You fight or you die. And no, it wasn't happening. It just was not happening at all. He liked cooking at an early age. However, cooking is not something a Vinsmoke should be doing in the eyes of the Vinsmoke family. That is for the lesser than. How can someone that is royalty, how can someone that is nobility serve those? Not possible. So Sanji was treated like shit. Judge, not exactly father of the year, right? It's straight up. In some cases, he makes Stannis look very tame. So Judge, he has some work to do as a dad. He has some massive work. But I also have to wonder, where is Moms? Mom is nowhere in sight. Maybe she died because according to the flashback, Ichiji through Yonji were born on the same day. All 4 of them. They're all 4 brothers born on the same day. So she was carrying 4 kids in her stomach, and that would probably lead to her death. Though there is good technology there, so you have to wonder if she did die, then maybe it wasn't from childbirth because the tech would keep her alive. I mean, that's my guess, but at the same time, the stress could have been too much for her body. She could be dead. She could be there, but not give a fuck at all. She could be a massive, massive bitch. Be like, yo, I don't give a damn. I'm the queen bitch. And Sanji, fuck you. Like, I wish you never born. Like some crazy shit like that. Or she could have done what Sanji did and like left because she was fed up with this whole thing. So again, there are possibilities as to what happened with Sanji's mother. I'm curious as to what actually happened, but we have no idea. Sanji has daddy issues, number 1. In fact, he has family issues. Fuck that. He has major family issues. Number 2 for characterization for Sanji is he thought that there was a chance that Germa got better over the course of the years. But after he saw his father impale the dude, he used the wall, he thrust it through the dude, and sounds kind of weird. Either way, he thrust it through the dude, and then Sanji had to bear the brunt of that attack. So, ultimately speaking, Germa in his mind got a lot worse, but he gave them a chance. In his mind, there was still some hope there when it came to his father, when it came to his sister, his brothers, and how they acted, but now he's like, no. See, for sure, fuck all of you. I'm done with you guys. He was still willing to have some legroom there when it came to hoping that they got better over the course of time. So that is characterization. Finally, for characterization, it is Vinsmoke Judge, Vinsmoke Jaji himself. And we got a few things to talk about. So number 1, the man takes pride, a lot of pride, in being royalty, in being a noble, if you will. He's not like Tenryubito noble, nor is he, I guess, like second noble lineage, like in this case, the Riku family. No. He is royalty, he is the leader of Germa, and he takes pride in that. So when you see things that are being spouted by him and Sanji's brothers, as well as probably the sister would say the same thing, where you're royalty, you shouldn't be doing X, Y, and Z. So you're royalty, therefore you shouldn't be cooking, because cooking is work for peasants, if you would. So again, it's something that he is very adamant about. He takes pride in being royalty, and anything that goes against that when it comes to his own family, he takes offense to. So he takes offense in many ways to like Sanji's own existence. It's pretty heavy. And then on top of that, when Sanji mentioned that he wouldn't use his hands, even though apparently he trained Sanji in the way of the sword, in the way of the Itoryu. Apparently, even though apparently Sanji retained none of that shit. Like, dad, fuck you, in general, okay? I use my hands for cooking. And then Judge is like, so you're still spouting on about that bullshit? Really? So he's very adamant about that. The second thing is his relationship with Sanji, where it is not good. at all. It appears to be very fucked up, very hostile. And on top of that, at the end of the chapter, saying how he understood full well that Big Mom is an insane big bitch. However, he didn't want to sacrifice his precious sons. So I might as well use a dud. And that dud was his third son, Sanji. The man is warped in many ways. Ichiji, Niji, Yonji, they get good treatment because they follow daddy's orders and they are Germa in full. But Sanji, you want to be a cook? What? Nah. You want to leave this marriage? What? So obviously, Sanji and him don't get along at all. And you see him as a father. Now, I won't say that's what he is in earnest, because this is what we're getting to see immediately. How things play out later on in the story, we don't know, but we'll see. Then the next thing here is going to be his dreams. The man has a goal to take over the entire North Blue. And the only reason why he is willing to put up with Big Mom and do this alliance is because he has that dream to be the ruler of the entire North Blue. Next is the technology that he incorporates in his fighting style, where apparently he was known as the Garuda, which is like the Hindu mythological bird that Vishnu rode on, something like that. Either way, the man can utilize his raid gear. That's what it's called, like raid gear or raid suit, something like that. He can utilize it fairly well. He is renowned for his fighting style, which incorporates a lot of movement in the sky. And in all honesty, it reminded me a lot of Skypiea. Just seeing the way he moved about and how he twirled around. In a sense, very similar to Sanji, where Sanji, he can utilize skywalk. And of course, he can like fly about, he can do kicks and whatnot in the sky. So you get my point here. And that's the way he fights. He incorporates a lot of tech. He even has electromagnetism as a means of fighting. He did like a lightning version of the Devil Egg. I was like the Denji kick, or like the Denji shot. Bro, that was hot. That was fucking hot. I love seeing that shit. All right, that was cool as fuck. Like the lightning version of that. King of Lightning approves. Absolutely. The Denji. But he's using tech. And this goes to the next point, which is essentially the guy is strong. He's not like supremely strong. I mean, though granted, from what I got, nor Sanji or Judge went all out in this fight. It was, in all honesty, a skirmish in full. Because Sanji, he was taking blows, but you'd see him fly across and he'd just be chilling. Like, whatever, not a big deal. But despite that, Judge, even though he's strong, he uses tech as a means of strength. Like, it's not his own strength. So he mentioned that Sanji can utilize Haki, so he's clearly aware of Haki's existence. However, I don't know if he himself can actually utilize Haki. He is combat savvy, but his combat is based predominantly on his tech. Without the tech, how strong is he? I have to wonder. Is he strong? Yes. Is he supremely strong? As far as we can tell at this point in time, no. Maybe he is just as strong, if not stronger, but odds are he's probably weaker without the tech. So that's my take on that. And that is the overall characterization for the chapter. Finally, we have the story progression on the chapter where basically, again, it's Sanji versus his father. It's him losing to his father. It is Yonji being fixed up. It is Sanji now being forced to go through this marriage, because even though he would just leave, he can't now, because if he leaves the island, his hands will blow up, because he has the wrist attire that is a version of the neckwear that the Tenryubito put upon their slaves. So essentially, in this case, Sanji, he's a slave to this marriage. That's the way it seems. And Pudding's a sweet girl. That's what she seems to be. But we all know, sometimes when things are too sweet, they're really fucking sour. So, Pudding is a heel. I'm fucking telling you. So, that being said, people, I'm done. But before I go, before I give you the chapter rating, let me say this. There's something that I am noticing, and it ties to the tech and it ties to Yonji. So, we saw that Yonji was fixed up via that press, right? And we know that the Germa utilize pretty insane tech when it comes to whatever they do. And we see it through the fighting style of Vinsmoke Judge. Well, I also noticed in the flashback, there were two things. Number one is you have Sanji punch his older brother, Ichiji, in the face. And Sanji hurt his own hand. Now, they're just kids. So when I think about it, how on earth is Ichiji's face that sturdy as a child? perhaps at that point in time, Ichiji was going through a lot more intense training. I mean, possibly. But at the same time, according to Vinsmoke Judge, Sanji was trained in the way of the sword. So yeah, he wanted to be a chef, and he didn't do that, obviously, but he was still being trained. So Sanji was being trained, and you can assume that all the other sons were being trained as well. So how is it that he didn't make a dent in his face? The way I saw how like the headphones kind of like wrapped around Yonji's face, and when I thought about how the German utilized tech very well, there was something metallic about it. Like, it's kind of weird, but like, there's a possibility that even as a kid, the Vinsmoke have like metal attachments or like metal, like, you know, like metal plates and whatnot in their body, something like that. Maybe they're cyborgs. Maybe the Vinsmokes, given their tech, maybe they do have cyborgs in the family. Like, they could honestly have metal body parts, which will explain a lot. Yeah, maybe Ichiji and Yonji, they had some like deformity and they were fixed up via metal. I find it a little bit strange how, again, he takes a full frontal punch from someone who is training just like him, maybe not as hard, but still trained nonetheless, and still does not dent the kid's face, and how Yonji got fixed up. It's weird. If it happened, I called it. I fucking called it. Called it. Calling it now, call it, all right? if that's the case, I'm calling it. The chapter rating is going to be a good plus, and I'm done. So King of Lightning, wait, hold on, time out. There is something I do want to mention as well. In the chapter, and I just reread the chapter, Sanji, after he gets hit by like the electromagnetic kick, and he gets sent flying back, Daddy's rushing in, and then Sanji says, and I quote, "Should blood parents be viewed in some holier than thou light? You never bothered giving that little kid," in quotes, that little kid, in quotes, "a single decent memory. The poor runt had it pretty rough back then, wouldn't you agree?" And then so there is Sanji, supposedly Sanji, with a helmet on. He can't leave this cage. "Father, please let me out." Shit, here we go. So this may not be Sanji. The fact that Sanji referred to this moment in time as that little kid. Initially, I thought that he was talking about himself in a third person-ish way. That's what I thought. But possibly it's not Sanji, it's someone else taking his place. And because he was wearing a mask and you really couldn't see his face all too well, this may be someone who lives in Germa, because Germa is mostly dudes. Possibly there was someone that looked like Sanji, so you have no idea if there's a spiral there. That kid probably is not Sanji. It's probably a citizen of Germa. It's probably a citizen of this country. And it was the mask. It was the fucking mask, man. It was the goddamn mask. You know this theory that was done by Roger's Base that basically was like Bellamy, Killer, and Sanji, they're all related? That could be Killer. It was the mask, man. It was that fucking mask. I'm like, wait a second. Could that be Killer? Like, no. But Oda would do some shit like that. Again, you have to wonder, why is Sanji referring to himself? You never bothered giving that little kid a single decent memory. Who is that little kid? Is it Sanji himself, or is it someone else entirely? And if it is someone else entirely, who? That 3 that you see on that kid, that could be entirely deceptive. Oda, you fucking, like... fucking. Alright, man. Hold on. I was gonna go just a wee little bit deeper, but I'm like, you know what? Let the king of lightning save this for a theory video. I'll do it like tomorrow or Saturday, something like that. But that kid, I think maybe Killer. There's a possibility. Shit. Alright. So that's it. I'm done. King of Lightning! Rate the video, comment, and subscribe as always. Once again, the chapter rating is going to be a great plus. Peace! Have a nice goddamn day.